about to go down.
It's lovely pass, and here he turns cleverly. Can he find a finish? Oh, he can!
Skill by Joshua, and a return right hand. Good counter right. Bullen is hurt. Second right hand. That clipped him as well. Now he goes in for the kill.
Well, Ricciardo is inching into the lead, and Ricciardo that win the Italian Grand Prix!
Iguodala running the floor.
Still leading the way with Canada in there too, with the Netherlands.
And Musa makes it 4 goals in 2 World Cup matches.
The Monaco Grand Prix! Ricciardo triumphant in Monza.
Through Bowden, Barrett, and an early touch and an excellent...
Sports Orbit. We make the world go round.
Hello, viewers, and welcome to today's episode of Sports Orbit, reaching you from the Leadership Podcast Studio. My name is Afa Acho, and Salifu Usman is here with me. Salifu, welcome to this Tuesday's episode of Sports Orbit.
Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. So let's play on the Sport Orbit.
All right, in this episode of Sports Orbit, we are still getting some fallout from the Nigeria's failure to qualify for the Qatar 2022 World Cup. Seems like a blame game is happening here and there, but we'll look at that as we go into the show. Also, of course, we'll look at other stories, including Champions League matches also return tonight, and we'll be giving you a preview of the matches as we go all along in this program. First, we'll begin with the story from former chief coach of the Super Eagles, Christian Chukwu, where he has tasked the NFF to quickly appoint a substantive coach right now for the Super Eagles. According to him, instead of the NFF to continue crying about spilled milk, the truth is we feel that Nations Cup, we have not qualified for the World Cup. Instead of apportioning blames here and there, it's time to put our acts together, appoint a substantive coach so that the coach can hit the ground running and start preparations. As we all know, Cote d'Ivoire 2023 is also around the corner, so it's important that a new coach is appointed so he can start planning ahead for Nigerian football. Salifu, for me, if you ask me, good advice coming in from Christian Chukwu, because yes, we are out of the World Cup. This is not the time to start dilly-dallying. This is the time to get down and appoint a proper coach, because before you know it now, qualifiers for Cote d'Ivoire 2023 will begin.
Yeah, the other statement, Mr. Chukwu, will put the nail on the head. And the best way to go after losing qualifications, the next thing to do is to move forward. We can't continue to lament on the past or what we have no control over it again. Either we like it or not, either we lament it tomorrow. The World Cup ticket is off us, so we can't grab that ticket again. We can only pick up another World Cup, so probably Mexico, USA 2026. So, and just like we say, AFCON 2023 is also already with us, and the plan by the host nations and the organizer, the CAF, is already on. So the best thing to do is to move ahead. But I agree with the question, but as far as I'm concerned, in my personal view, appointing a coach now, yes, it's a good idea, but I don't think it's right or it's proper for the current NFF who take us to where we are should also be the one to appoint another coach. So I expected that just like the sport editors made a choice that Pinnick and his coach should resign. And to me, if they fail to resign honorably, I think Nigeria should chase them out of that office. But we can't expect the same, because to me they like ideas and they like the requires the criteria what it requires or all the necessary what is required to appoint a coach that will deliver for Nigeria. So they have all the since he came in as a Super Eagle as NFF president, he has appointed several coaches. Starting from the first coach he appointed was Shondo. He inherited a listed in Kishi. He didn't allow Kishi to work. case was 6 away, and then he appointed Sunday once he who he nicknamed Pep Guardiola of Africa. So and then if you also look at all the age grade competition, almost all the coaches that appeared, no one can because they are stand out.
Yeah.
At the same time, they also go to the women national team. All the coaches are appointed for the women national team. No one can also appoint that stand out. That even our own local coaches who were appointed by the children also did well, and even the foreign coaches trying to bring Thomas Zenebe could achieve more than what our own African coach has seen. Now you have to US the American coach in China. At the same time, he has not done anything differently from what we have done. So I don't think Pinnick and his school and his school court at the NFF has what it takes or have the prescribed knowledge to appoint a coach for Nigeria again. So if they refuse to resign honorably, I think it is not right time for Nigeria to move and chase them out of that office and let the people with the core who have the genuine idea and who have mean to occupy that office, and then we cannot think of appointing another coach.
I mean, in his words, he said the AFCON qualifiers and friendly games against tested teams will help the new coach to study his players and build a team of his taste. Away from that now, but still onto coaching issues, former the immediate interim technical advisor of Super Eagles, talking about Austin Eguavon, has come out to say that he was not part of the decision to sack Gennard Raw. He actually made this comment on Monday Night Football on a sister station last night while speaking to Victor Ipeba. He said, well, the decision was taken for he was not in support of the decision to relieve Raw of his duties because, according to him, that he was looking at the timing. He felt the timing was too short, it was too close to the AFCON for the technical crew to take such a decision. But this is someone who is supposed to be in charge of the technical crew of the NFF coming out to say that I was not part of the decision. It should be normally in Senate claims. He's the one who is supposed to be spearheading this kind of decision, but he's trying now to absolve himself of blame. But we didn't hear all these stories while he was in charge, but now that he's no longer there, we are now hearing a different thing coming out from Austin Guavon all again. Now he's trying to, that's tactically pushing blame away from himself because, in essence, he's trying to say that, look, I wasn't even ready to handle the Eagles. I mean, indirectly, that's what he's saying. Because you gave me this job, the time was too short. He felt it was too short to even appoint, to sack this man. Let him go to the AFCON, and we can appoint a new coach. But now he's coming to say, I was washing his hands. I was not part of that decision to sack Gennard Raw.
Well, I think all these all this one is unnecessary for now. What is necessary for now is how to think of how to move our football forward. Either you were part of the team, or you were part of the plan, or you were part of the committee, or whatever to sack the Raw. To me, that is a non-issue. But that one now, either to find him that he was part or he was not part does not come to solve any problem now. We have a problem in our hand, and our football is going down, and it's people going down every day. So the best thing is how to arrest this, continue to do of our football, and the best thing is to move and deep. Those the stakeholders who have the authority to it to think on how we can move out of continue to do of our football. So it's not about continue to but remember, in this part of the country, you all agree that this in this part of Nigeria where we are, if your title is just a thereby pronouncement a name. Sometimes somebody who occupy the office doesn't appoint the function of the office. If you remember, I think if you can remember in the former president of Chukwu, who practically tells his advisor that you are there to advise, it's left for me to take on to take. So, but you also can, as a technical director of NFF, the final decision does not lie on us in Wagwa. We all know who appoint and who hire and who appoint in the NFF. So either he was part of the team. I'm not even blaming here. Just like you see, but I don't think he's coming out to tell us either he was part of it. He actually agreed with you. He actually come to tell us that the time for the job was too short for him. But at the same time, we find it difficult to say things at the right time. At that time when we were given the job, if I say, no, well, gentlemen, this time is not
exactly, you are setting me up for failure.
You are setting me up for failure. I can't do this. That then people would have stay with you. But you believe, you are even proud that, okay, we'll try to do things better. And when everything was going normal, when everything was going well, we helicopters, we had it. But after the AFCON, I know about lobby to become lobby to be remain.
I mean, he was
He
always
lobbied-
around
he was-
the sports
ministry and all that.
all the time.
So he lobbied, and you can't deny that. If I say, I'll tell you his way face that he actually lobbied
Yeah.
to lead the Super Eagles in the playoff. So he shouldn't come out to tell us the difference.
All right, away from that, but still to a story that is still World Cup related. This is coming from Francis Uzoa, where he has come out to say that he cannot promise not to make mistakes. Uzoa, who actually considered a goal many considered as cheap, managed to grab during the World Cup, took to social media to say that this past couple of days has been worst in my life. I wanted to take my nation to Qatar, but rather did opposite. I know what football means to you and myself also. I cannot promise not to make mistakes in game, but I can promise not to give up until I bring back the smile on your faces. Thank you for the support and God bless. I mean, in one breath, she seems to be apologizing, but at the same time, you are telling people that yes, you can't promise people that you make mistakes. So, in essence, you can't even be trusted because it means you are not even fully confident in yourself. You should be telling us that you hope that this kind of mistake will not repeat, but telling us that you cannot promise us not to make mistakes. It means if I was a coach, I mean, I should have ruled you out completely from that position because putting you in that situation again means that anything can happen because you've already said that you cannot promise that you will not make mistake. In essence, when the occasion, when it matters, sometimes you might actually make a mistake.
To me, I have a different view to what he's trying to say. Just like you say, to me, it's like first and foremost apologize to Nigerians for what he has. Because you read the statement where they say his plan was to take Nigeria to the World Cup, but unfortunately, he did the opposite. That is, he's personally blaming himself for the loss of the ticket. That because his intention was to ahead to lead Nigeria to the World Cup, but unfortunately, he did the opposite. That means he accepted that the blame that he caused Nigeria the World Cup ticket. But however, he is a human. And as a human being, you cannot guarantee say I will not make a mistake. Mistake is part of human life. So that is what he's trying to say. I don't believe this that he's trying to be arrogant about it.
No, but in this kind of thing, you should inspire confidence.
Yes, he inspires confidence, but he's trying to say that. But however, it's okay. He will not give up. He will not give up until he ensure that he brings his mind to the pieces of Nigeria. So that is, to me, which I accept what he's trying to say. That first and foremost, even Coma's person to blame him, say that he was responsible for the defeat.
All right. We hope he comes back bigger and better. After all, he was with Nigeria in Russia in 2018, but he was eventually displaced by Maduka Okoye, who couldn't make the playoffs against Ghana. The doubleheader actually due to some COVID-19 related illnesses. At this point, we'll go on a short break, and when we come back, we still have a couple of stories for you. Of course, the 2023 AFCON is also around the corner, and CAF actually had a visit to Cote d'Ivoire to see the level of preparations. Also, we'll take a look at what happened in the last night's EPL game, and of course, the Champions League also returns today, and we'll be giving you a preview of all that will be going down later today in the Champions League. Don't go nowhere.
For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.
Sports Orbit. We make the world go round.
Welcome back from that short break. You're still on to Sports Orbit. Now straight to the news coming from CAF, where CAF President Patrice Motsepe has said he is assured by the progress made by Ivory Coast on a visit to the African Cup of Nations. Actually, yesterday he said, "We are confident that the AFCON you will organize here will be the best," he said after meeting with the Ivorian president. The Ivory Coast is due to host the Cup of Nations in June and July of 2023, just 18 months on from the last AFCON in Cameroon at the beginning of the year. Salifu, CAF president, was in Cote d'Ivoire to look at the level of preparations for the CAF, which is just 18 months away from now. That is talking about coming up in June 2023.
Well, yeah, it's a good move. They need to keep promote presence on the Cote d'Ivoire, and we pray that what we witnessed at the last edition, in 2021, instead of came to hell in 2022, should repeat itself again. Even though, because even that the states, what will happen in Cameroon? Remember, Cameroon was originally said to hold the 1988. Cameroon was awarded 2019 edition of the AFCON, but it's because of the lack of facilities, not be able to meet up. That's why Egypt came to the rescue and hold the 2019 edition before it was returned back to the Cameroon again to hold that. So, and at the same time, this awarding of Cote was awarded at the same time when CAF 2019 was awarded to Cameroon. That was also Cote d'Ivoire was supposed to hold the last edition. Was supposed to hold this last edition. This edition hosted by Cameroon. If Cameroon had hosted the 2019, Cote d'Ivoire would have hosted the 2021 edition. But because Cameroon could not meet up with their facilities, now Egypt came in as a rescue and hosted the 2019. The 2019 was awarded to Cameroon. So Cameroon by then, since that time, Cote d'Ivoire, it's just there's an African way of doing style of being trying to do fire brigade. We have all the time, all the long to plan for success. You have to wait till the last minute. Even at that time, being aware the fact that the Cote d'Ivoire are already aware that about 5 years ago, or 6 years ago, that they are going to host Africa Cup of Nations. So since then, it's serious supposed to have started playing that now. But unfortunately, it's like nothing is popular on ground at the moment. But it's good that the hairsman has come up with that. They have assured him that they are going to meet up with that. Let's hope that they will meet up with it.
Actually, Cote d'Ivoire actually last hosted the competition in 1984. That's a very, very long time ago. But currently, as part of their preparations, they are currently renovating or building at least 6 new stadiums for the Continental Showpiece next year. So we hope that all things will be ready before this preparation, so that we can have a befitting competition come June, July next year. Away from that, now to EPL result of last EPL game that was played last night. That was between Arsenal and Crystal Palace, and of course, Arsenal lost that one 3-0, and Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta has apologized, describing the performance as unacceptable in the Premier League defeat at Crystal Palace. Salihu, looking at that game, at a point it seemed like Arsenal had completely run away with the remaining 4th slot, but right now with that result, that top 4 position has been completely blown open. At a point, Arsenal had almost like 3 outstanding games, so he was hoping that maybe they could all win all, but out of those outstanding games, they've not been able to win all of them, and now they just have just one outstanding game, and suffering that heavy defeat to Palace yesterday actually blew the race open for the top 4.
Yeah, it is well. Yeah, I've said it's well, but it's not possible that Arsenal is a team that you can't put your money on Arsenal. When you begin to have hope on the club, they'll disappointed you completely. And when you watch what the players say, it's a complete nonsense. It's a complete nonsense because you don't expect a team to play just a game. If a team that has an ambition, who has a determination, who believe that he's competing with another, who's competing for something with another, will not play just a nonsense in the 90 minutes. And I see the unfortunate that Arsenal management keep on
from where Arsenal started this season, you could say that he has done a bit of a decent job trying to bring Arsenal to this level where they're even.
What is the decent job?
At least they are trying to compete for the top four. At a point, it looked like, if you remember, in the first 5 games, Arsenal were languishing almost in the relegation places.
In the first 5 games, who was in charge?
It was Ateta.
So what are we saying here?
But I mean, Arsenal are trying to make the top four.
What are you saying here? He was the same coach. He started the race. He started the race the way everyone started. So for him, a coach, if he has an ambition, not play such complete nonsense the way he played yesterday, and losing 3-0 to Crystal Palace, it's not acceptable. And coming out to apologize to who?
But don't forget that even Chelsea, who are European and world champions, also fell to a 4-1 defeat.
No, the fact that Mr. A lose, not give you the belief that I must lose because Mr. A lose. Everybody has his target.
But this is the Premier League.
But even as Chelsea lose, you still see that Chelsea is considerably still good at compared to Arsenal. For instance, just like you said in your suggestion, in where you said earlier, Arsenal was completely as be at home with assurance that they're going to be in the top four. But when we are already in the top four, they're having 3 matches. Out of the 3 matches, they have lost 2.
Yeah.
Now the next one is against Chelsea. How sure are they going to win now? And even if they win now, I would guarantee that it's going to give them any position. So to me, I think I hope Arsenal managers understand what the fans are going through.
All right, look at
the Arsenal job is bigger than Arteta. I keep on saying that Arsenal job is bigger than Arteta.
All right, let's look quickly at the table. The Man City is still on top with 73 points, closely followed by Liverpool, who have 72 points, while Chelsea in third place has 59 points, while Spurs and Arsenal are level on points, but Spurs have played 1 game more than Arsenal, with West Ham and United both on 51 points. West Ham haven't played 1 game more than United. Same for Wolves, who are 8 on 49 points at this point. So the way it looks from number 4 to number 8, I think any of these teams with at least a minimum of 9 games to go will have a realistic chance of making the top 4.
If you look at the top 4, talking about the top 4, starting from Tottenham to Man United, forget about Wolves. To Man United, forget about Wolves.
Because it's just 2 points.
Forget about Wolves. Forget that that's 2 points. Even if 1 point, forget about Wolves. They are not. Even West Ham is going to be there. So the rest of them going down between Man U or like Tottenham, because the Arsenal is sure that they are not interested.
All right, we'll see how that pans out.
Sports Orbit. We make the world go round.
Welcome back to Sports Orbit, sir, for that break in transmission. On to the Champions League. The Champions League is back, and today some mouth-watering encounters will be taking place tonight. We have Atletico Madrid, who will be taking on Man City, Atletico Madrid, and of course, the other match will be Benfica Champions League fixtures.
Benfica Liverpool.
Benfica Liverpool. So quickly, Atletico Man City.
Yes, Atletico Madrid is going to be a very tough track. Remember, this team they are going to meet in the Champions League for the first time.
Oh.
For the first time, and Guardiola. If you ask Guardiola, if there's any club that he so desire to win is the Champions League, though he has won the Champions League 2 times. But the last time he won the cup was 11 years ago. That was when he was in Barcelona. And several times he went to buy it. It was now since he came to the Man City. Several attempts at me, and the last effort was he get to the final, and unfortunately he couldn't win the final. Speaking yesterday ahead of the match, he admitted that yes, he always has overtaken when it comes to Champions League, and because of admitted overtaking, because of overtaking, he always make it, according to him, only make a mistake and change, and who eventually will lead him to get out of the or lose the final. But he admitted that okay, this time is able to win for us. So he's still showing his anger and his desire to win that cup and to win the Champions League. And I believe he's not ready to allow Atletico Madrid to stop him on the road this time around. But Atletico Madrid and Simon, so it's Atletico Madrid, the Argentina guys has shown also desperation to win it. And remember, the Atletico Madrid has also get to the final. They lost the final on 2 occasions, and they lost this final to Madrid. So it's going to be a very tough round, but Atletico Madrid are going to meet their star strikers in terms of this match for injury. This match has go back to Barcelona to the club where he actually make his mark. But it's not going to be available to match tonight. But let's go to our good watch. It's going to be an interesting encounter of the fans.
Liverpool, Benfica.
Liverpool, Benfica. If you're looking at Liverpool, Benfica, automatically, if you're looking at based on the form of the 2 teams, the bookmakers and all the bettors will really want to keep their money on Liverpool. But you will be surprised if you keep your money on Liverpool and you end up losing your money because the interim coach of the Benfica has assured that yes, he admitted that yes, but Liverpool has all his things. But according to him, if his boys play according to instructions and work on their own strength, they'll definitely they're likely to normalize Liverpool and win Liverpool for nothing. And at the same time, looking at our own African brothers, Musala is also going to make a record if he end up playing tonight and score a goal. Remember when he first came to Champions League in 2017, when he joined Liverpool in 2017 season, when they lost the final to Real Madrid, he scored 10 goals in that competition, and this season alone in Champions League, he has scored 8 goals in the Champions League. So if you end up scoring and not score 2 goals today, you will become the only Premier League player to score 10 goals twice in the Champions League. So the record is on Musala to make it to that, and at the same time, the Benfica guys at the young board of the Benfica, they are sure that they will not allow Liverpool to run down them, but according to him, they have the strength and what it takes to normalize Liverpool, notwithstanding all their strength and whatever they have.
All right, we'll keep an eye on that one. Those matches come up tonight at about 8 p.m. thereabout. We'll keep an eye on them, and tomorrow when we come here, we'll give you a review of the results, and of course also give you a preview of the big games coming up tomorrow. Of course, Chelsea will be up against Madrid. Also tomorrow, I'll be keeping an eye on that one. Salifu, thank you for being on the show today.
Thank you so much.
All right, viewers, that's all we can give you on today's episode of Sports Orbit until we come your way tomorrow with another bigger and more exciting episode of Sports Orbit. I mean, yours sincerely, Alpha Chuanis. Goodbye from here.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.